All right, we currently have 60 volts. And now you're gonna do your biggest jump. We're gonna see how low you can go. Go ahead. All right, 21.3. Okay, hand it to Peter. Keep your finger on the tip.
Whoever gets the highest wins.
Okay, Peter, biggest jump you can. Oh, 20, yeah. 20 even. All right, Polly, your turn.
Okay. That was so high, Peter.
I suspect who's ever the most hydrated has the greatest conductivity.
Hydrated.
All right, Polly, go ahead. As high as you can.
Got this, Polly.
No, didn't cut it. All right, so if you're wondering what we're doing, we're doing a little bit of what I think you would call unschooling. So we had a voltmeter out measuring AC volts because we have a strand of Christmas lights here that is only working half. And while I was taking some measurements, I was surprised to see like 80 volts on the meter. And it's because my finger was touching the probe. Now this is not, hey, shush. This is not dangerous because I'm taking a measurement and the meter itself has a huge amount of resistance. But what happened is I probed the positive hot side of the circuit, and then you can get a voltage reading because your house is grounded. And in my case, I was sitting with my shins on the floor, and so I had a lot of voltage, in this case, 90 differential volts. And then we played around with a rubber mat and things like that to increase the resistance and decrease the conductivity. So if you're wondering what this is all about, basically I'll just do a quick explanation, and maybe this is a fun experiment you can do with your kids if you know how to do it safely. And that is, when electricity is created at a power plant, they save money and materials by only running one wire out of the power plant all the way to your house. But you'll notice that you always have two terminals on your electrical outlet, and that's because you have a positive and a negative whenever you have AC or DC volts. And so instead of running two wires, what they do is they run one wire directly into the earth, and then your house is connected to the earth. And so you're connected to that power station by the wire that comes off the telephone pole and by the earth. And that's why some people call it an earth connection, some people call it ground, but ultimately it's the same as like the negative battery post of your battery in your car, except it's AC volts instead of DC volts. And so you can actually measure that. And that's why if you take your finger and you put it inside the positive connection or the terminal on your house, you can get electrocuted and or shocked at the very least. And you may wonder, well, I thought you had to touch two wires. Well, the thing is, basically your feet are always touching the second wire when you're walking around on the ground. And even though carpet isn't a very good insulator, and even rubber, there's still enough of a ground connection here that you can measure that. And so it's very interesting to see that. Right now I'm flat-footed, but when I go down on my shins, it goes up. And if I were to have even more contact with the ground, I would have an even better connection. So pretty interesting stuff. And again, if you have a DVOM and you know how to do this safely by measuring AC volts and being connected to the positive, not the negative terminal, the hot terminal, then this will work. If you do connect to the larger of the two slots, it won't work because you're basically measuring the same thing twice, ground against ground. So anyway, I hope that was mildly entertaining for someone. And for any homeschoolers out there, or anyone who wants to teach their kids, it could be a fun experiment to see who can get the lowest voltage by jumping the highest. All right, folks, take care. If you didn't like this, give it a thumbs down. Go check out the post-apocalyptic inventor. He knows way more about electricity than me. Super interesting guy. And I love watching his videos. Maybe you will too. Take care.